Hey guys, welcome back to Musings of Mavri, where I'm your host Mavri, and right now we're continuing our rewatch of Bandori Season 1. We're currently on episode 6, so the start of Saya's arc. Now, the resolution to this arc is one of my favorite episodes of the entire anime series of Season 1, so without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Begin in 3, 2, 1, play. 1 year ago. When this episode came out, a lot of people were confused because it kept switching between the past and the current. So lots of people were confused as to how to tell them apart. And then the the resolution or the solution that somebody came up with was to just look at the skirts they were wearing because their colors are different. And that is how you can tell apart if it's 1 year ago or if it's current. It's not really mentioned much, but as we can clearly see here, this band consists of two different schools, right? So I guess more in the Brasilia kind of situation. And I definitely think, I wonder if if this factor also uh, goes into Saya's decision to join Poppin' Party in the end instead of reuniting with Chispa, their current band. 2 weeks. And speaking of her mother, actually lots of people already guessed originally when this episode aired that something was going to happen to her mother because of her hairstyle. Now, for those of you who don't know, her hairstyle is actually hold that thought. Let me skip the opening first. There we go back. Custom drama. All right, so they're electing. I wonder whose idea it was to nominate her to be the uh, the president of the committee for the cultural festival. Hey, Eve. Because she can understand Kasumi talk. Anyways, what I was trying to say before was in regards to her mom because of the hairstyle that she left. That's actually a very prominent hairstyle in anime, which always is worn by typically mother figures who have something happen to them. So that's why it's also called a very dangerous hairstyle. Again, the translations. Even though they say that this is a new song, but it definitely has elements of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in it, right? Everybody was saying, hey, isn't this Twinkle Twinkle Little Star? How many people here thought she was gonna kiss her? I did. Well, actually, I didn't really did, but I kept thinking, what would happen if she did? Yay! Professional translator, Saya. Ramen in a cafe? They should have really just translated into jalapenos there. Nice, Limini. I think this is also definitely a sort of showcase of Rimiri's own growth, right? In the past, she was too shy and embarrassed to really speak up about anything, and now she's gradually starting to come on her own and participate. Marisa's just there eating. The background music for this series is also very good, which is to be expected of a music anime, right? But it's definitely something, a highlight of this anime series, especially in the next few episodes. but it's been good throughout. Hmm. Hop in and party. It's nice watching these two interact because we really don't get enough of that. Basically, Arisa interacting with anyone other than just Kasumi is interesting to me because it happens so rarely. Oh, and by the way, because we saw her notebooks say uh, friends party and also pop-in, right? It was because of this scene that I later realized, hey, pop-in party actually doesn't mean a, a party as in the sense of throwing a party, right? But it's actually a party of people, a party of friends. So that's, I guess, also kind of interesting because originally I thought Poppin' Party was, like a party that you go to that you have fun with, right? But this is more of a group of friends that are having fun. And it's actually also funny because in an interview that Aimee had with the original writer of the story, she did mention, because at that time they weren't sure whether they wanted to just completely use Poppin' Party from the original light novel and manga. So they actually allow the members to try to name themselves. And Aimee, Kasumi's voice actor, actually came up with some pretty ridiculous names. I think something like something Bang Bang Girls or what? Very ridiculous. So I like the kind of callback here too, right? If they let Kasumi name it, it's gonna be something ridiculous. I love how Arisa's tagging along, even though this isn't really concerning her class, right? She's the only one who's in a different class. But still, she wants to be with Kasumi and company. And another hug. Omoshiroi. And we also see some interaction between Tai and Rimi here, right? So that's also a foreshadowing of what happens later on when they have the big sleepover. Aito.
集中。
I wonder if it would have been a better way for Kasumi to discover it if she kind of discovered one of Sayo's drumsticks lying around in her room. That would have been an interesting interaction as well, right? Discovering drumsticks in Saya's home and then asking her to join the band.
いけそう？うん、名曲の予感。まだ歌詞も曲もできてないのに？だってみんないるから。ん？最初は一人でわーってなってたけど、アリサとリミリンがいて、答えも一緒で。サーヤも。クラスの自己紹介覚えてる？私変なこと言っちゃったかなって思ったけど、サーヤがいいって言ってくれて嬉しかった。ドキドキしてる？うん、みんなで歌って弾くの絶対キラキラだよ。全部楽しい。うわーって走りたい。いいじゃん、それを歌詞にすれば。え？難しく考えないで、そのまままっすぐ歌に込めたら伝わると思うよ。そうかな。あとはみんなが整えてくれるよ。お願いします。私もか。ねえ、サーヤも歌おう。文化祭一回だけでも。バンドに入るとかじゃなくても一緒に歌いたい。すごく楽しそう。楽しいよ。いつか。いつかね。
You know, this scene, I don't know, that face right there didn't really look like Saya's, but eh.
そういえばバンド名は結局どうなったの？
Yep, they did. Hoppin' Party.
リミリンの描いた絵かわいい。ありがとう。なんで私まで。任せて。ごめん、無理だった。
Like I said, I love Arisa's interactions with the other band members because it's just so funny.
山吹さんがいいって言ったから一応提案しただけだし。うん、かすみたちにぴったりのいい名前。サーヤも。え？
Saya.
サーヤもメンバーだよ。あ、ユリ先輩、リーちゃん先輩、これ見てくださ
Mm.
なんか久しぶりって同じ学校なのに変だけど。
You think about it, that's gotta be awkward, right? After you,
よかった。
leave the band, but one of your best friends is still in the same school as
友
you.
達が間違って書いちゃって。
Eh.
ごめん。
And that was episode 6 of Bandori Season 1. Most of what I wanted to talk about, I already mentioned in the episode. Like I said, uh, it's nice that they're starting the new song, starting to write a new song, starting to prepare for their cultural festival event, their performance. They finally got their band name figured out, and it was kind of interesting to know the exact meaning of Poppin' Party. And we start to get some introduction to Saya's arc and why she is the way she is, and how she is going to eventually join the band in the end, because that is a foregone conclusion, right? You can tell from the opening and ending that she is going to join the band. I definitely like how they portray her, even though she's not a part of the band, they're a group already, right? They're a group of 5 people, and that's their little gang, so they do everything together. And even though Saya is trying to maybe not mention her band past to her current friends, she is definitely still very interested and involved in the band activities, right? And deep down, she really wants to join the band. You can tell by her reactions, her facial expressions, that this is something that she is it makes her heart race. So it is something she wants to do, except that because of some circumstances, she can't. And of course, in this episode, we don't know, but later on we know. Okay, it's because of family problem. But anyways, not that much else to talk about. I think next episode would be much more interesting. So I'm just gonna stop here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.